1986 and 88, I was guided. I had telepathic communication with my guides. I had had that for quite a number of years by that point. And I had been on a spiritual path for quite a number of years as well. And in 1986, my guides asked me to rent a small apartment, which was my cave, in West Los Angeles, in a very sort of obscure area.
Oh my gosh, I lived in a small apartment in West Los Angeles.
Oh, did you? Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I had been living in a different part of LA prior to that.
Wow.
But I rented this little small apartment, which was just like a cave. And in fact, I spent 2 years in deep seclusion, meditating all the time and being guided and taught by a number of different ascended masters and yogis who were out of the body. And during that, I didn't really do anything. I mean, I would go and get food, but I was in the apartment all the time. And sitting on a couch meditating and being taught and guided. And at the end of the 2 years, I was awake. I had a very profound experience. And when it completed, I was awake.
Wow.
And so that was the culmination of my spiritual journey. And in fact, in 1987 was the harmonic convergence. I don't know if you're...
Right, that's right, yes.
Well, I was guided to go to Sedona for those 4 days. I wasn't going to go, but my guide suggested it would be in my best interest to do that.
Right.
So I went there, and during those 4 days I went into a profound state of samadhi. I mean, I sat on the banks of the river in Sedona for 4 days, just gone in this cosmic state.
Oh, wow.
And it started to fade after the 4 days, but it had initiated in me the profound samadhi, and after a few weeks I found I was able to get back into that samadhi fairly easily, and after a few months I could actually go into samadhi at will. I could say, okay, now I'm going into samadhi, and I could go into samadhi. And so it was a big milestone on my journey, that harmonic convergence. And so I feel that if what's coming is a repeat of that, but permanently and in a more powerful way, we're in for a heck of a ride.
Well, I sure hope so. I've had quite a few mystical experiences. Some have lasted as long as 2 months. When I was in complete and total synchronicity, everything was there was nothing that was not in synchronicity. And I would look outside and I could see the trees being recreated from scratch in each moment.
Amazing. Wow.
So I've had a few.
I've had that experience too.
Yeah.
Everything's constantly birthing itself.
Yes. And we get caught up with our 5 senses and see it as, well, that's already happened, or that's a stationary object and it grows at a slow rate. But when you really tune into that higher vibration, you can see everything is being birthed and recreated at such a speed from moment to moment. Yes,
that's so profound that you brought that up, because that's a marvelous way to get people to change their perception. If you give them that image and suggest that we shift our awareness, instead of taking things for granted, we recognize that they are birthing in each moment, including ourselves. We're birthing in each moment, and that somehow makes the idea of change really palatable. Rather than scary, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. And it also means that no 2 moments are the same. So when there can't be anything like boredom, although I do experience boredom, but there can't be anything like that if everything is eternally fresh and new in each moment, because there are no 2 moments alike. Each one is...
You're dead right.
Yeah.
If one tunes in to that freshness of each moment, we might even become sensitive enough to actually track the small changes taking place.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, I feel that I need some kind of, I don't know what to call it, but there needs to be a shift in consciousness that I have not been able to create through 30 years of spiritual work. So, I mean, I managed to, you know, release the shadow side and work on ego, and I've had some mystical experiences, but it's not an easy thing to create enlightenment.
Are you primarily left or right-brained?
Well, I think I'm more right-brained than I am left.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I work from the intuitive side, and I feel things. I work from feelings, and I go with my. It's the nebulous thing. It's just kind of a feeling that I get, or a feeling that I have, and that guides me in everything. So maybe I have it. We all have it. I mean,
well, you know, we are all divine beings, every one of us.
Right. I loved your article. We are all a Buddha.
Oh, you saw that? Oh,
yes, it was a wonderful piece of writing, and I suggest people go onto your site and read your blog. It's wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's very much, I think, time for people to recognize that they're not who they thought they were.
Yes.
And that they really accept that because we exist and have consciousness, we're part of the greater whole, and we're very much awake and an expression of divine reality. And even though we may still have ego and still be living in a very secular kind of way, if one digests the idea that we're all a Buddha or we're all divine energy, having a human experience, I guess, as some people say, we have, I don't know, it sort of shakes up the sense of daily routine quite significantly, and makes one view things with different eyes, I think.
Yes, I noticed that one of the biggest obstacles that other people and myself seem to have in the way of that is just programmed insecurities and feelings of less than.
That's ego, yeah. That's all ego programming. It's not real.
Right. Because on the other side of that is, I'm better than you.
Oh, yes. Hierarchy.
Right.
Yes. Oh, my. All those ego things. I put my students on a rigorous ego dissolution track.
Wonderful.
And I think I've been doing that for years, but I do think you can't know your own divinity without peeling away most of the ego casing that surrounds one's essence. Yeah, absolutely right. And we know that is one of the things that we believe we are that. So that is can be a difficult thing to dissolve, but I think it's getting easier, especially with people like you that understand the process and know how to dissolve it lovingly. Well, it's one can be loving. It's still hard.
Yes.
The ego resists like crazy, but as you said, not as much as it used to about 5 years ago.
Right. And, you know, if we experience a few more of these solar flares, these X-class flares, goodness knows what they're doing to the core of the planet. And of course, many feel that the Divine Mother, the goddess within Earth, Gaia Sophia, is about to give birth. And that's a whole another take on the planetary consciousness and the sun being conscious as well. So,
what do you mean by giving birth? How are you seeing that?
Well, it seems that moving that birth into the terms of a spiritual outburst, kind of like a flowering, and
okay.
Exploding
egos, maybe.
Yes,
and filling up with your divine essence.
Yes. Yes, I like that. And of course, a lot of people will go crazy when that happens, and as the pineal gland becomes more active and begins to work again properly, there'll be a lot of people, hallucinating and wondering what's going on, but it might be quite a party too.
Yes. Maybe they'll enjoy it so much they won't worry about it.
Right. We'll just slide on into this higher realm.
Into this wonderful samadhi of beingness and nothing being important out.
Yes, exactly. And away from the hierarchy that's trying to control us, like, down to the last electron.
Yes. Oh,
that has to go.
Well, they'll get blown apart, too.
I would think so. I just can't imagine. I mean, those that are in control seem to think that they're the gods that own us.
Yes.
That's kind of...
Well, there are false gods on this planet. But I think when the real thing comes through, it's unmistakable.
Yes.
And very seductive. I mean, there's this rush of feeling as though you're home.
Yes,
and that there's nothing... I mean, it's hard to put into words. It's really a description of a samadhi, but where you're one with everything, and the sense of all-knowingness begins to peek through, and you find that you have this sense of being connected to everything and everyone, and that you could sort of know and understand everything if you just allowed yourself to focus on it for a moment. That's that all-encompassing oneness. So, especially when it first comes in, it's so different and seductive that you just want to immerse yourself in it. And then, there's no desire to function as a human for a while, but to just be in it and float.
Sounds wonderful. You're taking me there now. I'm just going to have to bring myself down to earth like a helium balloon here before I drift off.
Let's hope it happens to everybody, because then once we come out of the magic of it, or not out of it, but we learn how to function somewhat within that context, we'll really design a new world. We really will choose a new design for the world.
Do you think that we'll be have access to other dimensions and other realities as well?
I do think so. I think it'll vary from person to person, because I think the neophytes will be too afraid to take that on at first. But once they get used to it, it'll be everybody's access. If, of course, this whole thing works out as, we've been guided to believe it will. But it should blow all the egos off everybody, or a significant amount of layers will come off to where we'll be in a different reality.
Yes, I think that'd be a wonderful way to go. I really do. I sure hope that you're right about that.
I can't guarantee it.
Right.
It does seem like one possible scenario.
Yes.
It's feasible for somebody who has entered those kinds of states of oneness. The idea that we could be lifted into them en masse is not that unfeasible, I guess. I mean, it's possible. It's not a pipe dream.
Right. Because that is the reality.
Whether that is what's going to happen, I don't know.
Right. We are all united as one, and at the atomic level, subatomic level. And I've had that experience once, where I merged with everything, and it was just like all of a sudden my consciousness expanded, and I was